Hey folks, today I'm cooking with Tovia. We're going to be making delicious fried chicken strips. All the ingredients you'll need for today's recipe will be found in the description box as well as throughout the video. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll be notified of my uploads. So I have 2 pounds of boneless skinny chicken breast that I just cut into strips. And it doesn't matter what size strips you cut them into as long as you're cutting them into even size strips. So to that we're going to add a teaspoon of dried oregano, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of chicken bullion powder. If you can't find it, you don't want to use it, just leave it out. But I'm using bullion powder. So half a teaspoon. Three-quarters of a teaspoon of kosher salt. We're also going to shake in a couple of teaspoons of hot sauce. So use about a tablespoon and a half. Now the hot sauce doesn't really make it really spicy. It just really absorbs into the chicken, just sort of gives it the flavor. But it's not really extremely spicy at all. So I'm rubbing everything into the chicken really well. I'm going to let my chicken sit for 30 minutes. Just cover it with a piece of plastic or whatever. Let it sit 30 minutes at room temperature. But make sure you rub everything into your chicken really good. So it's been 30 minutes and my chicken had a chance to sit. So I'm shaking over a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to roll the chicken into that flour. Just rub all that flour into the chicken. Now what I'm going to do is just pour over a couple tablespoons of water. Just want to get the chicken sort of wet on the outside. And then I'm going to pour in 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. No, I didn't season the flour because we have a lot of salt on the chicken that's from the salt and from the bouillon. So this will be more than enough to season the outside because we're having the outside sort of semi-wet. So just rub all that chicken together. You want to have some spots that are thickly coated. This is what you were looking for. Spots that are thickly coated, but still some thin spots. I should have used a larger bowl, but... So I'm going to toss everything to make sure the outside is thoroughly coated with this flour. And then we're going to move on to cooking the chicken. So I have my chicken coated. You have some spots that are thick, some spots that are thin. So off here to the side, I have a cup of flour, and I'm just going to roll the chicken into that flour, and I'm just going to set it onto my little plate over here. So I'll let my chicken strips sit for 10 minutes. So I'm heating up here canola oil. I just put enough in to give me about 1 inch of oil, and I'm heating it about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's place my chicken strips into the pan. Don't overcrowd your pan. And I like to shake my chicken strip over my plate just to make sure there isn't any more excess flour that didn't come off when I shook it the first time. Because that flour will sit in the bottom of your pan and burn. So I got like 12 chicken strips because I did 4 chicken strips per breast. So I'm putting 4 in my pan. And I'm going to let it just fry here for about 3.5 minutes. And then I'm going to give it a flip and then let it go again for about 3.5, 4 minutes. So it's been about 4 minutes. Check the temp. And we're right at perfect temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them off from the oil and cook the rest the same way. So here is our beautiful chicken strips. I'm going to go ahead and try one. I think I'll go for the bigger one. So nice and say it's very tender on the inside. Wow. Very juicy, very flavorful. The outside nice and crisp. Not too crunchy, not too hard. I bet if you let this sit overnight in all those spices, it will be even better. Please try this recipe. Let me know how you like it. And please remember to live and be well. Let's come together and love each other. Thank you so much for watching and supporting.